Tablets can be great tools for learning, entertainment, or just being lazy around the house. Yes, they won't replace a laptop, but sometimes you just need, a tablet in your life. If you're on a tight budget, don't worry, because we've got a list of the best tablets under 1,000 ringgit that we think you should check out. For 999 ringgit, you can pick up the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8. This device features a 10.5-inch TFT display that pushes a resolution of 1920 by 1200 pixels. Inside, it is powered by a Unisoc Tiger T618 processor mated to 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of expandable storage. Keeping everything running is a 7040 mAh battery with support for 15-watt fast charging via USB-C. There is also an 8-megapixel camera at the back and a 5-megapixel camera in front, which probably will only be useful for video calls. You do, however, get quad speakers with support for Dolby Atmos and a 3.5mm headphone jack, which makes it a pretty solid choice for media consumption. This tablet supports 802.11ac Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5, but there is no LTE support, so you've probably got to go Wi-Fi or hotspot hunting if you want to stay connected on the go. Despite its name, the Nokia T20 is very much an entry-level tablet. That being said, its RRP of 1,099 ringgit makes it slightly over the budget. However, you can find this device almost perpetually on discount for less. It features a 10.4-inch display that pushes a resolution of 2000 by 1200 pixels and a maximum brightness of 400 nits. There are also a pair of stereo speakers with Ozo playback, which promises an immersive listening experience. Performance isn't its strongest suit though, with a Unisoc T610 processor, which makes it slightly worse than the Galaxy Tab A8, but it gets 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of expandable storage. This tablet also features a large 8200 mAh battery that charges via USB-C, but only supports 15-watt fast charging. There is also an 8-megapixel main camera and a 5-megapixel selfie shooter. The Redmi Pad is probably my choice for the best tablet under 1,000 ringgit because it seems to tick all the right boxes. It is powered by a MediaTek Helio G99 processor, and you can get it with 3 memory configurations. For 899 ringgit, you can get the variant with 3 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. For 999 ringgit, you can get the variant with 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage, while 1,099 ringgit nets you the 6 gig of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage variant. It also features a 10.61-inch LCD display that pushes a resolution of 2000 by 1200 pixels and even a 90Hz refresh rate, which is quite rare at this price point. Keeping the lights on is an 8000 mAh battery with support for 18-watt fast charging. There is an 8-megapixel camera on the front and an 8-megapixel camera on the back, and to make video calling easier, there's also a center stage-like feature that will keep you centered in the frame during your calls. Other goodies include quad speakers and support for Dolby Atmos, which should make for a pretty good media viewing experience. The specs for the Honor Pad X8 aren't fantastic. For 899 ringgit, you're getting a MediaTek MT8786 processor mated to 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of expandable storage. But it makes up for that by being only one of a handful of tablets supporting LTE connectivity at this price point. Unfortunately though, the battery is kind of tiny for a 10-inch tablet, coming in at just 5100 mAh with 10-watt charging via USB-C. You do, however, get a 10.1-inch display up front with a resolution of 1920 by 1200 pixels, as well as a 5-megapixel camera at the back and a 2-megapixel selfie shooter up front. It also features a pair of stereo speakers as well as 802.11ac Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5.1. Finally, as an outside mention, you could also check out the Huawei MatePad SE. Now, typically I wouldn't recommend Huawei devices due to their lack of GMS support, but on a tablet, it's not as detrimental as, on a smartphone. For 999 ringgit, you're looking at a Snapdragon 680 processor and 4 gigs of RAM. Here, you can choose between 2 configurations. The Wi-Fi only model comes with 128 gigs of storage, while the LTE model comes with 64 gigs of storage. But both of them are the same price. In front, the tablet features a 10.4-inch IPS display that pushes a resolution of 2000 by 1200 pixels. It features stereo speakers too, so it should be a pretty solid media viewing device. That being said, it does have a rather tiny 5100 mAh battery with support for 10-watt charging via USB-C. It does come with a 5-megapixel rear camera and a 2-megapixel selfie camera for video calls. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any future updates. Did we miss any tablets? Do you have any more tablets you'd like to recommend? Or would you like to know about more tablets? Because then hit the link in the video description or leave a comment below. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.